Good evening and welcome to the Bitter Knitters podcast. It is Monday, February 5th, 2018. And my name is Jacqueline and Arthur's here.
Hey.
And Cynthia's here. And Cynthia's in a very naughty mood tonight, I think.
Yup.
I think it's from, I really do believe that Cynthia went to Florida and found that giant penis man and got his throat torn up.
I love it. His or hers?
Both. His and hers.
I'm a woman.
I know. You're a woman.
Ladies have penises now.
It's true. It's true. So did anybody watch the Super Bowl?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I did. Like the first time in fucking forever.
I watched. Now, I wasn't that invested in it because I just assumed that stupid Patriots were going to win again.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until that really amazing touchdown after the halftime show that I really got invested into the game.
Yeah. For me, it was more, I needed to watch it. Well, for one, you know, what else am I going to fucking watch on a Sunday? Game of Thrones isn't on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got, not in an argument, but I got into a fairly spirited discussion with a friend of mine about this probably in like early December. And I was saying, like, I feel the Eagles are going to take it this year. He's like, you're not a fan. You know what the fuck you talk about. You're an idiot. It's Brady's. And I was like, all right. So once I seen that it was going to be Eagles, Patriots, I was like, I'm in, I'm game. And it was fun. It was, you know, I enjoyed it. Except for the halftime show. The halftime show was weak.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Two things. Let me say two things. Justin Timberlake is such a little weasel. For him to come out singing the song that almost ruined Janet Jackson's career with his little fucking I'm so clever and funny. Screw you, you little shit. He's made a career off of talking about taking Britney Spears' virginity, even though she's only ever talked about him publicly one time since their breakup. This guy does it every couple of years. He does an interview. He does a Saturday Night Live skit. He's a fucking pig. I cannot stand him. And that Prince tribute, no.
Yeah.
Prince said any use of him like that after his death would be demonic.
Huh. I mean, it's funny to say that because the Prince part was the best part of the whole fucking performance.
Of course it was. His Prince was there.
Right.
But
yeah,
oh
it was fun. It was good. I mean, I'm not a football fan. I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I'm not.
Yeah.
And to watch somebody get knocked unconscious with a hit kind of makes me want to become a fucking football fan. That was pretty awesome to see. Like, that was pretty fucking awesome to see.
The hits are pretty amazing.
It was great.
I just want to explain to everybody, because the public has been asking for, a while now why I did not perform. Well, let me tell you guys what really happened this weekend to me and my Super Bowl halftime performance. I ended up at the wrong stadium. Okay, this happened. I ended up at the wrong
right
stadium.
Instead of left.
Yeah. And I was not there, unfortunately. Next year, don't worry, guys, I will be performing. The person popping up also would be Jacqueline. Our girl group will be reuniting.
Oh my gosh!
Two girls in a cup.
I better get on that diet schedule now to be performance ready for.
We're gonna be performing our number one hit in Zimbabwe, "Eat My Pussy."
Yes. Yes.
And our other song in Ghana, he shaved my cooch.
This is the problem. We would be big all over the world, like we are in some of these third world nations. But how these big music companies are trying to keep us down because we are, they don't want us to go mainstream because we would be bigger than Beyonce and Taylor Swift and stuff. And they can't have that because we don't follow their rules. We do our own thing.
First of all, number one, when we were in Palau, when Jacqueline and I was in fucking Palau, we were hounded, okay? We had to
by the Palau paparazzi.
Yes.
One person.
So, well, Jacqueline, you guys don't want us to perform or give you a little snippet of our next year performance, but it will be off the fucking chain. Okay?
Can you guys
need to know.
Hook me up with whatever the fuck it is you're on right now? Because it sounds kind of fun.
This delusion is not just a song, okay? It's not a song by us and our girl group. It's an actual thing that we have.
All right.
Okay,
We used to be 3, now it's only 2, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. So let's get into the stories of the day. I want to talk about this one. When I see these postings on Facebook or I hear people talking about them, it's just so annoying to me. This whole cursive writing thing that people keep saying we need to go back to cursive writing and kids need to know cursive writing. Look, there's a bill being moved in Indiana schools by, asking the Senate to bring cursive back into their schools. State Senator John Leising, he every year he introduces a bill to try to get it in there, and each time it doesn't even get to the House. So I guess he's still trying.
I mean, do people even fucking still handwrite?
Well, his thing is because kids don't know how to sign signatures.
Yeah, that's fair. But
then you make them practice, like I made my kids practice when they were like 12.
I'll be honest, kids. I can't really sign a signature. My signature is normally just, a bunch of fucking scribbles, but
yeah.
I don't know, like, is cursive really that big of a deal anymore?
No. Look, our language has evolved.
Yeah.
Right? We don't still talk in Old English. We don't talk in the dramatic, beginning of language, right? We're talking a different language. We've got things like LOL in our and I don't know, stupid words like bay are in our language now. Yeah, I don't think we need cursive. We have computers now, and that's how we converse.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to rack my brain of, like, day-to-day activities where I might have to fucking handwrite something, and I can't really think of any, but
unless you're like an executive or a bank guy, you're signing your signature every day. Yeah. Most people don't even sign their signature once a week. I can't remember the last time I did my signature.
The only reason why I would think that kids nowadays should still kind of learn cursive is so when they do encounter an older person who may have written something in handwriting, they don't look at it like, what the fuck are these hieroglyphs?
Well, things are lost. Look, like you said, most of us can't read hieroglyphs. Most of us can't read ancient Aramaic, if that was even a written language. I have no clue. Phoenician, we can't read that stuff because it died out. And I think cursive is dying out. I learned to write cursive, and let me tell you, when I got to high school, my teachers told me to please stop using my handwriting and to print because my cursive was terrible.
It's stupid, I guess, but it makes sense. I guess.
I do, like, in my profession, I do sign a lot of legal stuff. You guys are aware of this.
Yeah.
I have to sign a lot of legal stuff, but my normal handwriting is a mixture of print and cursive. It's really just chicken scratch.
Yeah.
Right? And it's because I didn't have the kind of finesse that my mom, my dad, had when they were growing up in terms of writing, where it was really emphasized. Remember, I was born in, and that was when the boom of technology was kind of coming along. And I remember exactly what you said, Jacqueline. We had to write in print because no one could read what I was writing. So, it just is. I don't understand why people make such big deals over everything nowadays. It's like, what the fuck?
My kids did not even learn any cursive, although with Logan's learning disability, cursive probably would have been easier for him to learn.
Yeah.
But
I look at it, though, like, it's not even necessarily he's not doing this, whoever is trying to get this bill passed, as a, kids need to learn this because it's important. It's more the, like, I did, so you should. You know what I mean? It's like a failure to realize that we are kind of evolving past it. Trying to hold on to that passion of, when America, I guess, was great, or whatever however you want to say it. But it is pretty dumb, though, I guess. It's true. It
seems like a waste of time when we could be teaching our kids a lot more important skills.
Yeah.
And who's to say that even in 10 to 15 years we'll be using signatures? We're not going to be using retinal scans or, some sort of genetic scan, right?
Look at how we unlock our phones nowadays.
I don't, but yeah. Yeah, if you get an Apple phone, it's like facial recognition, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I just whenever I see that, I just feel like it's always like these old, I don't want to say old, I shouldn't say that. People that are like baby boomers that are kind of let's go back to the old days,
Yeah.
And it's like life or I don't want to say life, society. I don't even know what the word would be, but it's like you're in 50 years ago times and we're in, the future. We're in the future.
I know there are like those weird, I guess, chances or cases that, maybe all the electricity goes down. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have to keep on trucking. You know what I mean? The world ain't going to stop just because, we don't have power.
Know how to
so somebody needs
read.
Hopefully.
Right. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like, so we don't have cursive, right? Mm-hmm. But if the electricity went down, I could still print out something. And I would assume most people, depending on how messy I wrote it, would be able to read what I wrote. So
I don't even think it's just that, though. I mean, without the actual practicing of writing words, how do you learn how to spell? You know what I mean? Like when you're constantly online or using a device of some sort, you're basically, as far as I'm concerned, you're unlearning spelling and grammar and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're kind of forcing the technology to do it all for you. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with cursive should be taught or whatever. I mean, I don't really give a fuck. I mean, I know I don't fucking use it in my day-to-day, so it's like, chances of these younger kids needing to use it in their day-to-day is probably slim to fucking none as well. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, in the off chance that, some crazy fucking circumstance happened where that's all I could use, I could still handwrite. I could still, read cursive writing and shit.
Yeah, my kids can barely even read any cursive. They're like, "What's this say?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I mean, what the school should spend more time on is teaching kids the difference between there, and there.
Yeah.
Where commas go.
Yeah. You know what?
Isn't a fucking word.
I'm bad for. I don't know if I missed it or I didn't understand it growing up. I'm really bad for my commas and like sentence structure and stuff. I'm bad at that. I mean, I can put together a sentence that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But my dream is always to like write a book or something. But I'm too insecure in my writing to write a book because I know I'm not good at it. So.
Yeah, they got proofreaders for that shit though.
Yeah, that's true. If it's a good enough one, they'll have an editor do it.
And then, I'm sure somebody's working on a program that, you can just essentially throw all the fucking slang terminology you want together and it'll come out fucking, some like pseudo-intellectual fucking bestseller bullshit.
Write that code. Do you know how to code?
No.
That's a good idea, Arthur.
Yeah. I'm full
like bay and like, all this I can't even think of all the stupid words and it comes out with be like, oh, what a lovely day we had today.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Shakespearean English.
Yeah, just like,
right, and fucking soliloquy. It would be pretty cool. Like, that sounds fun. Like, that actually sounds, just try to make the most abhorrent fucking, like, structured sentence you could. Like, just the biggest piece of fucking trash.
Yeah.
And see if it can figure out what it is you're trying to say.
Oh, you mean to just put in some lyrics from a Taylor Swift song. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's go from Taylor Swift to one of her former squad members, Lorde. So in December, Lorde announced that she was going to cancel her concert in Tel Aviv because somebody had taken out an ad in a newspaper basically, asking her to boycott it because of the way they've been treating Palestine. So she did. Now, this month or just last week, a lawsuit was filed in Israel. Now, it's not filed against Lorde. It's against the people who took out the ad, two activists from New Zealand. Yeah. And apparently they can use a law that was filed in 2011 by the Israeli, I don't know how to say this, Knesset. They passed a law allowing civil litigation by anyone who can claim economic harm from a boycott against Israel.
Fuck.
Can you believe that's a law? That you can sue somebody who boycotts you?
The more and more I'm learning about Israel, I absolutely can fucking believe that. That's insane.
That's ridiculous. So now if they ever do anything that we consider against, say, Geneva Conventions or, and we now put up sanctions against them, they're going to sue us.
They're going to sue. I've been delving in a little bit more about it. Somebody asked me a question about the Israel-Palestine kind of conflict, and I have no idea. I had no idea how to answer. I didn't really know what the fuck it was I was talking about, so I started to read up on it and learn a little bit, and Yeah, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise from the only fascist fucking nation that's still in existence. And I don't give a fuck. They are
almost every
fascist.
Western country's best friend for some reason.
I know. It actually really aggravates me.
And that's the thing. I always try to, it's hard to compare the two. But when I think of Israel, I do not like the actual government of Israel. I won't ever say anything bad against the Jewish people as a group. I mean, obviously there's asshole individuals everywhere, but but the people there allow a lot of this to happen, and it's very upsetting that this kind of power against other countries.
Yeah. See, that's a conflict I have, because obviously I don't want to be like outright blatantly fucking anti-Semitic. You know, that's not cool. That's not fucking cool. It's not something that any of us should accept or be okay with. Exactly. But learning about how they treat the Palestinians in Israel really pissed me off. And especially when I heard a few of these, just your run-of-the-mill Israeli Jews saying that because of how they were treated in the Holocaust, they feel like it's okay for them to treat people in the same light. And
that's really wrong.
It's fucked to me. Like, again, I never really had a dog in this race.
And then get to turn around and become the victimizer. I think that's a horrible lesson to learn.
It's really bothersome. Let me find. There was a lady, I seen her on the Joe Rogan podcast, and she was in Israel, and she actually interviewed people from the West Bank, and she went to the quote unquote refugee fucking camps. I don't understand how the Israelis call them refugee camps when you force 5 generations of people to live there. While you're fucking squatting in their houses. But
no, I watched a documentary years ago, and it was the same.
Really good. Empire Files on YouTube. Check them out. They are fucking phenomenally done. Like, it opened my eyes to a bunch of stuff that I didn't know about. And
and like we said, we're not. I'm certainly not. Would never consider myself anti-Semitic. I have a real kind of weird fetish for Jewish guys. I love them. But no, I like you said, I don't like when people then start to justify behavior because of what happened to them in the past. That's horrible. I was raped as a kid, so now I've grown up and I'm raping people.
Right, like
you go to jail for that.
This is it's something that I've said quite a bit about, the whole victim mentality. Because once you accept that you're a victim, or that you make it up in your head that you are a victim of some heinous act, then it justifies you being a shitty fucking human being. And I mean, it doesn't morally it doesn't justify you, but if you honestly look at how people act once they can claim victimhood, whether it be racism or anti-Semitism or misogyny or what have you, people then feel that they are more like they have that moral high ground to be just complete fucking garbage cans of human beings. And it's bothersome to me.
And I'm never one. I'll never agree with going into a city and blowing up innocent people. I didn't support the IRA when they were doing that in Ireland or in UK. I don't agree with the Palestinians going into Israeli cities and blowing up innocent people. But in some ways, I kind of understand it. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody came here to Canada and forced me out of my home and started to build a house here, where I lived, I kind of understand why they are fighting. I mean, they're fighting for their farming, their grazing lands, just their lands of their people. So I understand why the Palestinians are so mad. I also understand why the Israelis think they're entitled to it. But it's just like, when you kill somebody for land, nothing's ever gonna be peaceful. You know what I mean? They're never gonna find peace in that region.
No.
Someone's gonna be wiped out, basically.
And you know what? A lot of the sentiment I heard during these interviews on that Empire Files, it seemed that was a general consensus of people in and around Jerusalem, is that there is no peace. There's no peace that can had except for a complete fucking, like, just all the Muslims, as they were saying, exterminated in that area of the world. And to me, it's disgusting. And, and I've said this plenty of times, I don't care about your religion. I'm not going to fucking persecute you solely on your religion. But, I'll say right now, I hate Islam. As much as I hate Judaism, as much as I hate Christianity, I fucking hate them all. I think they're all abhorrent. But it was really bothersome. And, the only...
For them to say things like exterminate, too.
Yeah, right? Oh, it was...
disgusting.
Especially... Well, that's it, right? Especially considering the victimhood that you and your people are claiming. Like, because I mean, again, a brief history of Israel. You know, Israel wasn't there until the UN gave them that land after the Holocaust, right? That was
like 1952 or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Land that, I mean, again, as far as I can tell, the UN had no right to even stick their fucking nose in. I don't know, it's weird. And
well, this is the problem when outside governments start getting involved. This is why we have so much problems in places like Iraq and some of these countries, is because we went in and made up borders that weren't there previously.
And, you know, I was one who kind of just believed what the media was telling me because I had no real idea. And I mean, it's kind of an oversight on my own behalf, because I mean, I had every opportunity to delve in and find out why, you know, why what's going on there is going on. But I mean, I was always under the impression that, you know, Palestine is Hamas. Like, they all just agree that Hamas is the best, and, you know, we're fucking terrorists and terrorist supporters. So I was always like, hey, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like terrorism. Like, that's just fucking bullshit. But learning and reading more about it, and, you know, it almost seems like the quote unquote victims are the actual fucking terrorists in this scenario.
It's a really bad scenario. And
implementing laws like that, like you were saying about this Lord thing, about where they can fucking sue somebody from fucking borders and borders away from them because you said something that could potentially hurt Israel. Go fuck yourself. Like, fuck you and your fascist bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, it's
exactly. Can you imagine if North Korea passed that law?
Right. Right, we'd laugh at them. We would fucking laugh at them. Like, who the fuck do you think you are?
How much sanctions do we have against Russia?
Right. It's just.
When do the corporations get to start that? Because I've personally boycotted Nestle. I've personally put out stories about Nestle and told people to boycott them. When are they going to come and sue me?
Yeah, right. I mean, the Scientologists do it, so I mean, it's probably just a matter of time. You know, it's probably just a fucking matter of time. But
good luck getting my nothing, Nestle.
There it is, right? But it's just it's disgusting, and I'm happy at the same. Like, I'm happy that I finally made the decision to start learning about this shit. That actually, like, really kind of dive deep into it. But at the same point, it kind of hurt me.
Yeah, I watched a documentary, like I said, years ago, and it was. The documentary filmmakers were like hanging out with the Palestinian people, right? So they were obviously pro-Palestinian, but you know, I always take these documentaries with a grain of salt. And you know, this town had made an agreement with the Israeli government that they would only come so far and they wouldn't build past this part, right? And everything was fine. And then, like, a few months later, the trees, they had like 3 olive trees this family would go to pick olives from. Now they're fenced off and they can't get to them. Yeah. So the father went to a protest with a bunch of other people. And while he was there, now they said there was no violence. I don't know. They didn't have video of it, so I can't say. He was shot and killed. Yeah. And then turned around to the son, of course, becoming angry and going into a violent protest, which then the Israeli government sends in their military guys and they start shooting like crazy. And, you know, it got really messy. It's pretty sad.
It's fucked up.
And they really thought that they had an agreement. They're like, okay, we're going to be fine. We've got our 3 olive trees. We'll be fine. And then literally within months, no access to them. Yeah. So anyway.
I'm looking forward to learning more about it. But at the same point in time, I'm really upset with myself that I didn't know.
Well, it's never too late to learn. Right? It's never too late to learn.
This has been like a hot button kind of topic for a long time, you know. Yeah. And I've remained relatively ignorant. Yeah, exactly, right. And I've remained relatively ignorant to the whole thing, just kind of believing what my government, my news have been feeding me.
Tells us, right? Because, you know, we think they're not lying to us, or, you know, they have their biases too, and whether they should or they shouldn't is a whole nother conversation.
Well, and the other thing that makes me kind of upset with myself too is I find myself like agreeing with some of what these anti-fascists have been fucking saying about Israel and shit, and it hurts me to side with these fucking assholes.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to sound like a nutcase or, you know, a cuckoo person. No, but it's like, you know, the truth definitely lies somewhere in between.
Oh yeah, it does.
You've got to find it, right? That's we should all be finding what we think is the truth.
Yeah.
So. Let's talk about this guy. Let's go to white, and I'm assuming white, entitled billionaire people. There's a billionaire, Tom Golisano. He's married actually to former tennis player Monica Seles.
Okay.
So he has a country home, summer home, whatever you want to call it, in, oh God, Canandaigua Lake in South Bristol, New York. Okay. He's now refusing to pay his $90,000 tax bill to the city, the county, whatever the hell they're calling themselves, because the geese are out of control. The Canadian geese are out of control. 100 to 200 geese are on his lawn and they're shitting everywhere, and you can't walk barefoot. This is a quote. You can't walk barefoot, can't play frisbee, you can't have your grandchildren run around. Here I'm paying all this money in taxes and I can't use my property because of the geese droppings. So I get he's mad, right? But y'all got to pay the tax, man.
Shoot the fucking geese.
Get a couple dogs.
Or dogs, yeah. Dogs will chase them. Go out and fist fight one of the motherfuckers. That should be fun.
They'll kill you. Yeah. 200 geese and you try to fight one, you're dead. Don't do that.
You're a fucking billionaire, man. Hire some fucking people to stand on your lawn as scarecrows to scare the fucking geese away. Fuck out of here.
Like he says, he drives up, and I mean, obviously, if nobody's there and there's nobody running around, the geese are going to come back to his thing.
Yeah.
But he's got a lakefront property. The house is worth, I don't know, several $100,000. He's really rich. He's mad because even in New York City, his wife only pays $4,000 a year in taxes, right, on her $800,000 condo. And he's saying that it's outrageous, and he's basically being robbed on his taxes because he shouldn't. I mean, $90,000 is a huge tax bill.
Huh. I wonder if tax evasion could be considered under that, was it the Civil Forfeiture Act in the U.S.? Because that'd be interesting to know if by him, because he's breaking the law. I think that's only tied to drug use. Because, I mean, it'd be cool to see the cops just be like, all right, fine, you don't want to be a dick, you've broken the law, and then boom, seize his fucking property and use it as a police fucking retreat.
But the thing is, I mean, I kind of get I'm not, the geese, fuck off, get rid of them. You got enough money to get rid of them. Yeah. But I kind of do get his anger at the amount of taxes he's paying. Because like he said, $4,000 a year in New York City, right? That same condo, if it was in the area where he lives now, the summer home is, that condo would have a $28,000 tax bill.
Now, are we just talking square footage of the condo, or are we talking the entire property? Because I'm assuming that his
property taxes. So I don't know.
His summer house definitely encompasses way more fucking land than the condo does, which would make it, cost a fuck.
Well, that's why it's $90,000. I get that, but don't you think you would think New York City would have higher taxes than some little country? I know the country area has to make money too, right? But I mean, when something is $8,000 in one place, like a New York City is like one of the biggest cities in the world, and it would, in this little country area, it would be $28,000.
Yeah, it makes complete sense to me.
I don't know. That's a lot of money to me.
You're talking area. Right, property tax on a condo in New York is going to be compounded amongst everybody who lives in that condo because you're only occupying the exact same amount of space, like actual physical, property.
Right.
Whereas when you own a home somewhere, you know what I mean? That's a single dwelling.
But isn't $28,000 a lot of money in property tax?
Yeah, absolutely. But he's a billionaire. Like, I give a fuck about his property taxes. Fuck you, bud.
Well, no,
like, fuck you. I don't give a shit.
We don't care about him because he's a billionaire. Yeah. But what about the average person that has a house there? They might not be a billionaire.
No average person that has a fucking house there if the property tax is that high. Like, let's not get ourselves there, right? It's billionaires don't live amongst the regular people. So to me, this is a billionaire problem.
Somebody's rich doesn't mean that they should be taken to the bank either. You know what I mean? Like,
but if they're owning premium retail in a premium location and a lot of it, then yeah, fuck you, man. Like, fuck you. If I live in the Hamptons and it costs me $60,000 a year for property tax in the Hamptons, I can't equate it to me living in New York City.
But that's the Hamptons. Who's ever heard of this Candidia freaking lake? Ew.
Yeah, but we're not rich enough to know about that fucking place. We don't know what that place is about, right? Exactly. Like, that's like fucking Jerry Seinfeld's private island. We don't even know it exists. Like, I'm talking out of my ass right now, but he's rich enough to have one.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, it's rich people. I mean, I don't think they should be taken to the fucking cleaners just because they have more than us. But when you want to live in these exclusive neighborhoods and shit like that, then yeah, you're going to. I feel no sympathy.
And the thing is when you move to these the more exclusive you make these neighborhoods, obviously the more the towns are going to drive up the taxes.
Right.
So he should just find like a place completely empty of like when we were driving through Maine and there's like nothing for hundreds of kilometers. Go there.
Yeah, but then the issue with that is you get the gentrification where you get the other millionaires and billionaires that want to be around their rich friends so they can you know live their luxurious lives. Which hey, that's fine, but you don't get to bitch about fucking property taxes.
Yeah,
and I mean to that point, like so geese are pooping on your yard. Oh no. Like the geese migrate.
Don't care you're rich.
Yeah,
no, these are non-migrating geese. They stay there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, these ones are like they don't fucking leave because they're gonna stay there. Geese stay, and they always come back to where they were born. That's why you see them in Walmart parking lots and stuff. Yeah, they always come back to where they were born. So yeah, but like get a couple of dogs, have a guy stay at your house, build a fucking caretaker's cottage on the freaking property somewhere, have the guy stay there, come out and run the dogs all day long on your front yard and your backyard, and you'll have no problems.
Yeah, really though. Like
I mean you could probably I would freaking do that job if I lived there for like freaking barely any money. That sounds like a great job to have.
To be honest, I'd rather have the geese around because the geese are fucking aggressive as shit and they'll scare off any skunks or anything like that are living around the property, right?
Yeah, can you imagine a skunk try to come for their eggs?
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I mean, fuck you. You're rich. I don't care.
But you're right. I mean, I get you want to be able to walk on your because those make those big nasty green poops.
Oh yeah, no, their shit's fucking abhorrent. Like I'm from Canada. I know what Canada geeses are about. You know what I mean? Like nasty. I know what they're about.
We should have Ryan tell us the story about the time the Canada geese attacked him.
Oh yeah.
No, we're
Is
not.
Ryan here? Oh. I remember him telling me this story. It's so funny. We'll have to one day.
I'll punch a goose in the fucking mouth, and I've come close a couple of times. Down by my local Tim Hortons, the coffee shop. I'll walk to get myself a coffee, and these things are aggressive. Like they come right at you if they feel like they're young, their chicks are in fucking danger. And like I've seriously squared up with a fucking goose. Like fuck you, bud. Like I'm not gonna get punked by some little bitch ass animal.
Goose get aggressive with me. The worst thing that happened to me was my friend Christine Caffrey and I, we bought a bag of bread at the store and we walked across the hill. Do you remember Garbage Hill?
Oh yeah.
There's a place they called Garbage Hill. They always said it was a hill of garbage that they turned into a mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
And sorry, Scott's trying to show me a video of a Canadian goose. And so we ran out of bread and the geese wanted more, so they chased us. That was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I mean, I go up to the geese at the Walmart parking lots. I look at their eggs, and the geese never even hiss at me or anything. I like them.
I fucking honk at them. Fuck you, goose.
Like, you know how I like my Canadian geese?
Huh. In a jacket?
Oh, as a coat. Right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they use coyote fur.
Yes, they do. Well, they maybe goose down feathers inside.
Possibly, yeah. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. All I know is I'm not paying fucking $600 for a fucking jacket to find out.
Do you remember when they wanted to take the geese out of the park and feed them to the homeless and people lost their minds?
Oh, of course they did.
Like, that's good food. What the hell? It's not like they're endangered. Well, I mean, I wouldn't eat a goose and I wouldn't kill a goose myself, but if they need to cull them, they need to cull them. What the hell?
I wouldn't even care. But yeah, the funny thing is about that, from what I remember, is a lot of these people were saying it within the scope of patriotism. How can we eat this symbol of our country? God. Well, fuck a Canada goose. That's why. Like, fuck that thing.
People eat moose.
Right? I don't know. It's just... People are dumb. This half-ass patriotism shit really bothers me. And I mean, this last week's it's really gotten under my fucking skin. As my
you want to
Facebook
go on the,
fucking no, I don't. I don't care. Like, I really don't. To be honest, like, and this is the only thing I really have to say about it is I'm against the change to my national anthem. I am. I'm not going to give my reasons why, but I'm not for it. I haven't been for it since I first heard about it in grade 4. But a lot of the misinformation that I see people fucking peddling around just really fucking hurt me. And in the name of patriotism, you know what I mean? Like in the name of you believing that you're doing right for your country, but you're spewing pure fucking ignorance, like not an informed opinion about the whole thing. Like I was listening to people say the original anthem. How could you change the original? And I'm like, the original was written in 1880 in French, motherfucker. Like, do you sing the French version? Then you're fucking implicit in the changing of the national anthem, you stupid fuck. Like, if you want to be mad, that's cool. Be mad, but be mad for the right fucking reasons, you dummies.
Oh, I don't get it. I like the anthem we currently sing.
Yep.
I'm a woman. I don't get upset by saying the word sons, and I'm an atheist, and I don't get upset about saying the word God.
There it is, right? Fucking idiots.
You know?
But whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever. When the anthem comes out, I'll still say, you know, the word son. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't stop me.
Well, I don't know.
So,
we do have laws against hate speech here, and that might be construed as hate speech. So.
Well, yeah. Try.
But yeah, fuck it.
Okay, so when we ended our show last week, Arthur and I were talking about anxiety.
Yeah.
And how a lot of people have anxiety. A lot of people have anxiety now. So here's a little story that came across I Fucking Love Science, and it was they've located the anxiety-inducing cells in your brain. And they think they might know how to control them, which is kind of good news for people that do suffer real anxiety. You know, inserting a miniature microscope into the mice's brains and recorded cell activity in the hippocampus as they go about in their day-to-day business. So when they were stressed, they were the researchers observed high levels of activity in the ventral part of the hippocampus. So I guess that's the issue. So I guess if they can control them, that would, you know, you wouldn't need your emotional support peacock to fly on a plane.
Fuck's sake.
But you know what? People could go to a party without being worried. People could go for job interviews, public speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, it could help a lot of people.
The thing I like about that article is that it's not using psychotropic drugs. You know what I mean? It's light therapy. I appreciate that. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and Rogan was saying that Paddock, the Vegas shooter, apparently that might have played into his, you know, his shooting
issues
that he was on these psychotropic meds, and we still don't really know how they affect people, right?
Yeah, so and they affect people very differently.
Even the light therapy could, you know, it could alter the way you think. But I mean, I personally feel that it's a lot less intrusive than medication.
Well, and I mean, medicine stays in your system how many days or hours or weeks, you know, depending on what you're doing. Light therapy could be, you know,
it could be great. It could be phenomenal. Like, and I mean, let's hope so. You know, let's hope that it works, and we can kind of nip this kind of epidemic, I'd say, because I am in agreement with you.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do away with it.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know. I guess Tumblr will have to find other things to talk about.
I'm sure they can make something up to fucking...
Speaking of light therapy, can I just say, did anybody see the Church of Scientology commercial at the Super Bowl last night?
No, thank fucking God I didn't.
Well, I looked at it today, of course, because I had to see the commercials. And it was very short, but at the end there was a big flash of light. And I saw one of the commenters saying, maybe it's like in the Men in Black, and in 10 years' time we'll all be like Scientologists because we just got like light, you know, hypnotized or something.
Maybe. I mean,
I'm gonna put it past them.
Yeah, they got the money to throw into that kind of fucking R&D. I mean, they're not doing anything else with the fucking cash they kind of demand off their followers. So fuck, who knows? I fucking hate them.
Me too.
I hate them.
Me too. So here's another story coming from the Independent. You know, that UK newspaper.
Oh, that was a great fucking newspaper.
Yeah, it's very tabloidy.
Yeah.
But I really kind of liked the stories. I thought it was funny. So the headline is vegetarians are less healthy and have a lower quality of life than meat eaters. Yeah. And that they're also at more risk of physical and mental illness. Yeah, of course. You're not eating meat. What the hell?
Yeah.
I would be incredibly depressed and probably homicidal if I wasn't eating meat.
I got in this argument some years ago with the only friend I ever had to go vegan. And during her, and I don't mean just go vegan, I mean like she went like full-blooded fucking annoying vegan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we were talking, and she said, you know, Arthur, you should really do this, you know, you'll feel better, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, how many fucking vitamins do you have to take in the morning? She's like, oh, well, you know, I got probably about 4 different kinds of vitamins. I'm like, see, I don't have to do that because I eat protein. Like, why am I going to forego? I mean, again, evolution, we are fucking omnivores. You know, we are. Like, you can't deny that, right? You know, you even look at the evolution of our wisdom teeth. Yeah. The only reason why we have wisdom teeth was to chew raw meat. Since we don't eat raw meat anymore, it's why they rot out of our heads, and it's why we get them fucking pulled. Yeah. But it's I don't care if someone's a vegan or vegetarian. If Like, that's how you want to live your life. That's fine. It really is. But I mean, it's true, because I mean, most of vegans, I mean, especially the militant ones I've ever fucking met, they kind of seem mentally fucking ill.
What are you laughing at, Ryan?
I'm not laughing.
Oh, I heard laughing. Did you not, Arthur?
I heard some laughing, sneezing.
Oh, okay. But you know what? This is the thing I see about a lot of I don't know what to call them. New wave vegetarians, I guess, like the latest flock, is that they don't eat healthy. They're not eating meat, yes, but they're not eating like chickpeas and, you know, things that they're going to get their iron in. So they're eating things like just some salads and, you know, maybe a veggie burger, but they're not getting actual food. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I think a lot of them are probably not as healthy.
At the same point in time, to me, like, vegetarians throughout, you know, the animal kingdom are prey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't name me a predator that's a fucking vegetarian, because they don't exist, right? They're prey.
Yeah.
And we're not prey.
No.
Right? Like, we can be preyed upon. We're not. We're definitely not.
Oh, yeah, there's always a bigger animal. Yeah,
you know?
Like, I mean, a wolf can get eaten by a lion if they
right? Like, that's it.
each other.
You strip the guns out of our hands. You know, you strip the spears and the knives and all that shit out of our hands. Like, we're not an apex predator. No. We can kill, but we're not an apex predator.
We're not a shark. We're not lions. Yeah.
But we still had that opportunity. You know what I mean? We'd still eat meat. We would scavenge and shit like that. So for me, it always does kind of boil back down to biology and evolution. Like, I don't want to blaze a new trail kind of deal. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to sit there and be like, well, we don't have to. Right. And I'll agree with that. You know, the vegans and the vegetarians that propose that argument that we don't have to consume meat the way we have. They're absolutely correct and valid in that opinion, as far as I'm concerned.
There's a lot of healthy vegetarians out there, but they eat properly.
But I mean, again, though, like, when I have to, you know, wake up every day and take a fucking litany of fucking vitamins to supplement my diet, to me, you're doing yourself a disservice, just to kind of essentially virtue signal. To kind of like, oh, well, look at me, I'm better than you because I'm a vegetarian. Now, I'm not saying that's how all of them. I know a few that aren't like that. They're just, you know, they just can't bear the thought of an animal suffering. You know what I mean? And that's fine. That's cool. Like, I respect that. I even respect the ones that aren't like that. The ones that do it just because of the fat or whatever. But I that's just not me. And I mean,
See, now there comes to the question. I really want to ask a vegetarian. We need to get a vegetarian on the show. The whole thing, the ones that don't want to eat it because animals suffer. Because that would be me. Like, I mean, I don't like a lot of things. I do feel bad that chickens and cows and some pigs have to die because I want to eat bacon.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm kind of excited to try the lab-grown meat.
Oh, same here. I've been reading about this for a few years.
If I can eat a steak and I haven't killed a cow for it, I'll be really happy. And plus, all the methane cows put into the air and all the, you know, they have to clear the crop, the forest to make the grazing land. I'd be happy to do my part in eating, you know, lab-grown meat. I want to get a vegetarian on here and see if that's really the case or they're just opposed to meat in general.
Well, there's also a lot of, like, literature, I guess you'd say, going around the vegetarian kind of circle, saying that, like, eating meat leads to more cancers, like colon cancer. I'm pretty sure the science is fairly definite on that, and it does. It will increase that chance.
But it doesn't mean we don't have to eat meat every day. We can eat healthier. Obviously, everybody should eat healthier if they can.
Yeah, if you can. But I mean, frying my vegetables in butter, it just makes them taste better. So, you know what I mean? Like, but
a steak and butter and onions.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, you can't beat that. You can't fucking beat that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
a little glob of butter on top afterwards so it melts some more.
You know, I delved into that a little while ago, you know, because again, I without being combative, I want to just kind of go and read about it myself without kind of engaging in the discussion, because the second I get into a discussion with somebody, I mean, the militant vegans or what have you, I get very aggressive. You know what I mean?
Sometimes people feel like they're defending their lifestyle, so they do get, you know, a little
exactly. So rather than, you know, engage in conversation, I just kind of did my own kind of like looking around and shit. But, you know, there was an argument made that, you know, with the agricultural land that we have now, the grazing land that we have for cattle, that we could grow enough vegetables to feed the world. Like a full blown vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
that argument doesn't make fucking sense to me.
You still have to clear the jungle to make land to grow crops.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's a double-edged sword. Like it's we're virtue signaling to the point like where it's like, okay, we're not gonna eat meat. Fuck yeah, we're really doing our part. But we're gonna destroy more of the fucking world to virtue signal. We're gonna do the thing that we're hating.
Isn't I'm pretty sure I was reading about like in Indonesia and that clearing the jungle for the palm oil.
Yeah.
And isn't soybean? Isn't that bad?
I think.
I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please tell me. I won't get offended. I thought I heard that soybean growth was bad for the environment too.
Probably. I mean, I know a lot of those. Excuse me. The real hardy type vegetables and fruits are actually very detrimental to their ecosystem. Walnuts, for example. Yeah. Walnut produces this. It's not. I mean, it's a chemical. Obviously, it's a chemical. Everything's a fucking chemical. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to say that word because it makes it sound like icky. But it's not. But it essentially secretes this it secretes this kind of like powder through its pollen that makes the soil fucking impossible for anything else to grow around it. Right? Because trees just
smart evolution.
Yeah, because trees and plants, like everything else on the world, it's a constant fight for we're fighting for survival. So anything we can do to ensure the survival of the next gene, we're gonna do. And I know a lot of vegetables and fruits are like that, or fruit bearing trees. They love the competition and they fucking kill everything around it or make it uninhabitable for any other kind of vegetable or fruit to grow near it. So I mean, taking that into account, and this is I proposed this question to a vegetarian. I asked them, I'm like, what do you think about this? And they got really mad at me when I said that, because I said, like, to me it just doesn't seem feasible. Like, it doesn't seem feasible that you can like successfully implement this without destroying swaths more land than what the meat producing does, right?
What we need to learn to do, or if it's even possible, is to make already existing land farmable. So you don't need to cut down trees, but you can go to a place like, Ethiopia, where they've been having drought for years, and make the land, enriched or whatever, so that they can actually grow stuff there, and we don't have to grow it in, Brazil and then ship it over.
I mean, it sounds easy, but I imagine the fact that we haven't done it, you know what I mean? There's got to be a reason why we haven't done that. Because, I mean, it would be, I was watching something on Sam Kinison the other day, and he said something like that in one of his comedy specials. Like, I'll solve world hunger right now. Why am I bringing you food when I can just bring you to where the food is, right? And I was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. But, I mean, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Right? But, it's all coming along. Same with, like, desalination. Mm-hmm. Right, we know how to desalinate ocean water, but it's super expensive. That's why it's not set up all along the coasts of these African countries.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing too. Like if we could fucking funnel real money and real time to research how to make that cheaper, I mean there's the food and water crisis in Africa fucking dealt with.
Yeah, I was just about to say, look, by April they're gonna run out of water in Cape Town.
Cape Town, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'd say. The crazy part to me though is what's gonna happen after that.
You're going to have riots. Yeah. You're going to have We're not even getting to the point of people dying of, what's the word I'm trying, dehydration. You're going to have actual riots and people fighting and robbing each other for water. I mean, it's going to be like the Purge.
It's a rather unstable part of the world already. Yeah. Like just sitting how it is right now. And I mean, it's kind of fucked up right now, but it's going to be a shit show. Like it's going to be a bad fucking thing. And it's not like they're poor.
No.
It's not like they're not fucking Mozambique.
It's not just in the shanty towns. But you know what I mean? This is the actual, every person in Cape Town is affected by this. Yeah, the rich people, the poor people, and the middle people. It's
rather scary.
Yeah.
And, I hope they figure that out. Hopefully they can, stop trying to murder all their farmers and get this water situation figured the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think it's a little more pressing for them. But...
Exactly. Let's talk about this one before we run out of time, because there's only about 10 minutes left. Now I know you guys are fans of history and historical places like I am. Yep. Last week, a truck driver in Peru, to avoid a road toll, drove off the highway, ignoring signs, and drove through the 2,000-year-old Nazca lines, essentially destroying parts of the area.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd fuck everything up. What a dick.
Yeah. To avoid a toll.
Oh,
Are you freaking kidding me? You're an idiot. Like, he should have not just a fine. This guy should serve time in jail. I don't care. That's ridiculous.
Now, in his defense, I don't know if you've ever like Google Earthed the Nazca lines.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and Liz were like, you know, before we went to Iceland, we were planning on going to Peru. Like, that's what we wanted to do. So
you want to go to Lake
Titicaca? Yeah. So I was going to charter a seaplane, not like sea as in like the ocean, but sea as in the letter C, to fly us around the Nazca Lines. But because the complex, whatever you want to call it, is so fucking large, you kind of have to plot your course out. So through looking at it, most of the Nazca Lines are just lines.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the monkey, it's not the flower, it's not the spider and shit like that. Like, those are all on hillsides. Like, they're vertical, right? Like, you can't drive over it. So, I mean, in this driver's defense, he didn't really fuck up any of, like, the tourist attractee kind of parts of it. It's just random lines. But, I mean, he's still...
I understand how... This is my sort of thing. Like, when you go to a place in Canada, I would assume, like, when you go up to Stonehenge, you've been to Stonehenge.
Yep.
It's like not right off the road, the main highway. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was on the highway. Was it really?
Yeah, Stonehenge was right off the highway.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
but
you can see
like
it from the road.
Somewhat off the highway. Like, you have to drive pretty far to get there and crash into a rock, no?
Well, yeah, you'd have to drive through a farmer's field and through a parking lot and shit like that. But, I mean, it could be done if you were determined.
Okay. But this, like, I'm looking at the picture, and, like, literally it's right off the highway. It's right there.
Yeah,
like, one right turn and you're on the Nazca line.
It's something that the Latin American countries never really figured out until recently, until it was too late. Machu Picchu, the same thing, right? Yeah, they cared more about the initial influx of tourist money than preserving, these sites.
Things were that way too until, we just maybe got ahead of the game.
Well, and all it ever takes is one idiot to ruin it for everybody. And, we are, I mean, I don't want to come off rude saying this, but we are kind of smarter than most of these fucking, these other countries, the citizens of them. And we realize these problems a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that's rude as fuck to say, but I mean, it's true. Like, it is true.
Well, I mean, coming from a poor country that's kind of got corrupt governments and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Like, thinking about preserving things. They're just trying to get that almighty tourist dollar.
Right. I mean, even Egypt, you know what I mean? They allowed people to fucking scribble their fucking names all up and down the fucking Great Pyramids
and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Right. For years and years until they finally realized, like, holy shit, we're actually doing a huge disservice to the the driving force of our fucking GDP.
Which is tourists.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that really aggravates me about what's going on in Egypt right now. You guys are so busy persecuting Christians and shit like that your country's going in the shitter because, it's Westerners that travel to your country.
Discovering so much stuff. Like, they just discovered this temple. They found the secret room behind King Tut's tomb. Yep. And there's so much stuff there that would bring more people that had already been to Egypt.
Yeah.
And they're too afraid to go there because the country's so volatile.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also kind of this is also kind of happening in the Philippines. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Palawan and Coron, which is these beautiful islands.
Yeah.
Right? And oh my God, like, I mean, it's gonna get ruined.
Yeah.
It's just like tourists are coming there and treating it like shit.
Yeah. And the country is kind of somewhat allowing this to happen. Like, I remember when I was younger and when I was in the Philippines, the it thing at the time was Puerto Galera. I don't know what that means. I remember when we got off of this tiny little boat, because you had to take like a small little boat to get to the island, right? Yeah. The oil was spilling into the water.
Yeah.
And that was already damaging these beautiful blue seas. And, like, I can only imagine that happening in these islands very shortly. They just the thing is, like, you just allow it to happen. Instead of, like, stopping it. Like, this is what's giving you money or bringing you in money. How are you allowing this?
But, like, we also have to take some personal responsibility. If I go to a beach, I don't care if it's here in Canada or in the Philippines or in Tahiti or in Los Angeles. If I go to a beach and I have my garbage, I'm taking my garbage with me. I'm treating the place with respect, and I'm not going to, like, take a shit on the beach. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, come on, people.
No.
That goes for all of us. We have. I mean, I know when Arthur traveled to Iceland, he talked about how the tours were ridiculous.
Oh, it fucking pissed me off beyond words. Like, I'm still mad about it, and I still see people posting about, you know, people that go to Iceland and they finally get to witness how ignorant these fucking tourists are. But it's the great thing to me about tourism, and I wish a lot more countries would kind of open their eyes to this, is it's something you can make money off of that costs you nothing.
Every country in the world could do this.
Cost you fucking nothing. You are getting people to come to your country to spend money, to spend time solely off of existing.
Yeah.
And you're going to not implement things that could save that. That, you know what I mean? That would increase the longevity of these sites and these attractions, to continuously have people flood your fucking nation, spend their money. You know, it's, to me, it's sad. It's fucking sad, especially as someone who likes to travel. Like, it's just,
that's my dream. Like, when you travel, Arthur, you're living my dream. My dream is always to travel and see these crazy places. I mean, I'd love to go to Mongolia. What's there? Just planes and planes. Wouldn't that be amazing? But you don't see a lot of tourists, you know, trying to draw on tourism to there. No. I'm sure there's some, but it's not like, you know, how you get, you know, hit over the head with tourism to France or to Japan or to Australia and stuff, right?
There's a fucking like 7-story statue of fucking Genghis Khan that they have in this field there, and I want to see it so bad.
That'd be cool.
It'd be fucking amazing.
Be cool.
And maybe that's where I'll get.
Amazing.
Maybe Mongolia,
you know, go sleep in a yurt for a couple days. You know.
Yeah. But no, it's sad. It really is. You know,
I bet it's probably, other than the plane ticket, I bet you it's super cheap to go to fucking Mongolia.
Like, I wasn't allowed into the Stonehenge complex, which historically you're always allowed to. You're always allowed to go up and like touch the rocks and shit like that. Yeah, I was not allowed to do that because people have been stealing pieces of it, knocking chunks off and stealing fucking pieces of it.
That's what they do in these South American, you know,
Machu Picchu. You are now not allowed in the complex of Machu Picchu, which was the deciding factor on why me and Liz went to Iceland instead, because you know that chance is over for us.
Spend a 9-hour hike and then you just get to look at it.
You get to look at it from an opposite fucking peak. So to me, like, I was like, all right, I'm not going there anymore. I mean, at least to where's that one? Cusco. There's a few other places, Teotihuacan in Peru that I would love to see.
People that have to ruin it for everybody else.
Really, though, really. And I mean, again, like I've brought it up, as controversial as it is. Like, it's my profile picture. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say it. So my profile picture on my Facebook, if you look at it, it's, or no, did I change it?
I think you changed it. You're like outside.
Oh, okay, yeah. So in my photos, there's a photo of me. I just kind of fucked off to this one little courtyard on this castle, so I could drink my coffee and have a smoke and not be bothered. And if you zoom into the picture and you look over my shoulder, you will see all this fucking Mandarin scribbled into this fucking 12th century medieval castle. You know what I mean?
Sad.
Like, and if you're not, like, if you don't get mad about that shit, to me, like, it's like, you don't, I don't know. It's just aggravating. It's fucking aggravating.
Look at this. We talked about, oh God, what's his name? The guy that was in North Korea and he died.
Warm beer.
Yeah. He took down a poster.
Yeah.
And got hard time.
Yeah.
You know, whoever it was scribbled on a 12th century castle.
Yep.
And it's nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that wasn't even the ones that like pissed me off. Like, to me, that was sad. It was sad that somebody thought oh no, it's okay to write fucking, you know, Ming Wang was here, fucking whatever. It was the shit I seen scribbled on the fucking walls of the Holocaust Memorial to the murdered fucking victims of the Holocaust. That one really fucking, like, that broke me a little bit inside. That people are that fucking arrogant to scribble fucking Mark was here on the on a monument of that fucking nature. You know what I mean? And that's what pisses me off the most.
But you know, we've been doing this forever. Think about it. Was it? I don't know if this is true, but the whole story about Napoleon shooting the face of the Sphinx.
Yep. So I went to another castle in Nuremberg. Now, Nuremberg to me was very special because, you know, a very heinous law was signed in Nuremberg. So I was really excited to go there and kind of drink in the history. And we climbed this fucking watchtower of this one castle. And as I'm walking up, you know, and I'm looking at the names and the dates scribbled in the fucking in the brick or the stone, there was one from like the fucking 1800s where some asshole like fucking Heinrich fucking von bullshit the fucking fourth was here in fucking 1802, and I was like, what the? So like this goes beyond time. Like people have just been ignorant forever.
Aren't there like, and I could be wrong, I completely wrong. Aren't there like graffiti from the ancient Romans and
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fucking ancient Romans. There's all kinds of Roman graffiti throughout the fucking any Egyptian monument, like any of them. Like you go to anywhere, Petra, fucking Valley of the Kings, anywhere you will see old like, fucking Roman graffiti.
Or like Maximus was here type of thing.
Yeah. It blows my mind.
People have wanted to leave their mark forever, and it's like.
And I mean, I get it. Like you scribble your name on a piece of history, you know, and especially a piece of history that a country is, you know, hosting as a tourist attraction or some shit, you know, you kind of go down in history, I guess, as well. Maybe that's the thought process behind it.
An asshole to me.
But yeah, no, exactly. How I view you is as a fucking piece of shit who is ruining my experience. You know, I don't. It's just hard. You know, I even I seen a bit of graffiti written on the Rosetta Stone when I got to view the Rosetta Stone in England. Yeah, on the back side of it, there's somebody. Now again, I don't know if it was graffiti or not. It could have just been the
side notation.
Right, exactly. Like the guy that found it just kind of put his name on it, so they knew it was part of his collection or some shit. I don't fucking know. But even that, I looked and I was like, wow, like that. It kind of took me out of it, and I was so fucking pumped to see the Rosetta Stone.
I mean, you saw the Rosetta Stone.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it started off Liz's photography series called Arthur Looks at Shit. She's got like 1,000 photos of me just fucking looking at shit. Yeah, it's gonna be great when she finally drops that.
I thought it would just be like actual pictures of you looking like a piece of poo on the ground or something.
Hey, if it was in a museum and it was poop, I mean, she probably took a picture of me fucking staring at the fucking thing. But no, it's one thing I just want to get across to anyone listening who's planning on traveling is be respectful. Yeah. You know, don't go there thinking with your Western fucking hubris kind of, you know, like
your entitlement. And I'm not trying to say like white privilege or the entitlement, just the entitlement that you're traveling somewhere and you're giving them your money, so you are owed something.
Yeah, because you're not. You know, what you're owed is what you went there to see, not scribbling your name in the walls, it's
stop stealing pieces of, you know. You know,
although,
and stop graffitiing, stop ruining.
I'm kind of guilty of the stealing shit.
What did you steal? A piece of the Berlin Wall?
No, I that one I wouldn't. The Neuschwanstein Castle. So Neuschwanstein Castle is that fairy tale castle the Disney castle's fucking modeled after. So it was built atop a fucking 12th century medieval castle. And I knocked a chunk of the fucking wall that was built on, and it's sitting right now over here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you get arrested for that?
No, that's the souvenirs I choose to take home. I choose to take home a piece of the host country. I don't want
a clock. That's what Scott did when we were down east. He took rocks from all the different places we went to.
I've got a chunk of marble from the Dominican that actually should have landed me in jail for taking. Like, it was wholeheartedly illegal for me to take it, but fuck you.
I took for your Aunt Patty, Sister Patty.
Yeah.
I took and I didn't know this till after I took it, some sand and some ocean water from Cavendish Beach.
Do that.
I didn't know that. It was only a very small bit.
Yeah. I mean, and again, so like even me saying that, like I'm complicit in the same kind of shit-ish. But I mean, it's not like I went to the Marble Mountain in the Dominican and started fucking hacking away at it, like doing my own mining, scratching my fucking name on it. Like what I did was relatively harmless. No one's ever going to notice this piece of river rock is fucking missing. Yeah. And now I have, you know, a great fucking souvenir of my time in that country.
Cool.
No, that's all I want. Those are the only souvenirs I want. I want a piece of the country. I got 2 chunks of fucking lava from Iceland. You know, and it's all I want.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all we have time for. So we'll be back on Wednesday at 6:30, and have a good week. Thanks for listening.
Take care.